Welcome to Studio 22. I'm Brock O'Hearn. I'm with my co-host Will Meldman, and we are sitting with Michelle Wee West and Jonnie West. For those of you watching or listening, this is what a power couple looks like. This is it right here. How you guys doing?
Good. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, super excited.
Thanks for coming. Yeah. A little technical difficulties in the start, but we're here now. How's you guys were just all golfing together, right? Recently, or putting?
Yeah.
Yeah, Will was gracious enough to come to the LA Golf soft opening, I think 2 days ago. And it's a really cool space. LA Golf first started in shafts. Now they're going into putters. And they created this space. It's like kind of like a Soho-y vibe, but for golf. They've also gamified the game like for putting. So it's a really cool space. And I'm excited for everyone to come and visit and try it out.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was a great location too. Super accessible. And like the golf in the office is like my favorite thing in the world. So that was pretty impressive.
When you say gamify, what exactly is that? What is that?
Yeah, so it's just like a putting mat. And there's like a big screen. So it's like, think about like bowling, right? And they have like the screen with the check marks and the scores. And there's like little dots, 3 feet, 6 feet, 9 feet, all the way up to like 11 feet. Yeah. And you can go from the center, the side, and there's like all these like gifts on the screen if you make it, if you lose it. It's a lot of fun, and I think it opens up for everyone. I think Topgolf has done such an amazing job bringing more people in to play the game of golf, but also that kind of requires somewhat of a skill level, and I feel like putt and putting, it really opens it up even more. So this is a lot of fun.
That's cool. Yeah, my my buddies have some good stories. We were at a bachelor party and we played Topgolf. Wasn't pretty, but it was a lot of fun. That's awesome. There was a competition, right? Was it yesterday? Did either one of you win? What happened?
No, it was funny.
Jonnie might have.
I got close.
Oh,
You
you
got
did?
close.
Yeah,
but it's funny because the founder actually won. And I'm like, you can't win your own event. With the prize money.
That's
and
hilarious.
everything.
He's like giving out the prize money and wins the prize money back.
Yeah.
That's awesome. You started golf young, right? How old were you when you first started?
Yeah, I was 4 years old, and I tried to play all different sports. Honestly, I just knew I wanted to be a professional athlete from day one, and that's what I really wanted to do. So I tried everything. I wanted to be a tennis player. I did gymnastics and ballet, which I crossed off pretty much immediately. I was a lot taller than everyone else, and did baseball. I figured out I'm good at sports with something in between my hands and the ball. And then slowly started to realize I'm not very athletic in the sense of running or catching. Really good hand-eye coordination. So that just really landed me on golf. And I was like, okay, this is the last sport on my list to cross off. I have to be good at this. I have 0 options left.
That's amazing. So when did it really start picking up for you?
I started when I was 4. My first time on a golf course was when I was 7, and I qualified for a national event when I was 10. And at that point, things really started to pick up for me, and I won the biggest event in Hawaii when I was 12 by like 13 strokes. But what I think a lot of people don't realize was how large I was as a child. So whenever I was like, teen child phenom, I had the body of like a 40-year-old, like a built 40-year-old. So I was 5'7" when I was 10, and I weighed 175 pounds. So if I didn't like beat my competitors, I for sure could have like eaten them.
If you didn't beat them on the golf course, you would have beat them in the parking lot.
Exactly.
That's amazing. Wow. That's gotta be such a wild feeling. How different is it now as an adult golfing versus when you were younger? Is there any differences, or is it just like, has the game of golf changed as well?
The game of golf got a lot harder. I think when you're a kid, and that's a mindset that I always try to bring back, is that you're just so confident. There's no fear. Nothing bad has happened to you before. So now you're just going out with a body and mind full of confidence and afraid of nothing. And as you get older, things start to happen. Bad things happen. Fear gets instilled to you. So I always try to get back to that mentality that I had when I was a kid. It's hard because a lot of bad things happened. and you get scared.
Yeah, absolutely. I've seen that a lot in a bunch of different sports and in my own life too. Even in acting, it can be terrifying. But I would say MMA is one of the things too. You see these guys that come out and they got 16 knockouts, never been defeated, and they get knocked out one time and they never can do it
they're
again.
done.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't. I can totally imagine what it would be like, but I'm just happy I didn't go down that route as well.
At that young age, you were able to compete with professional men and drive the ball, in some cases farther, right? So it was like, I couldn't imagine being able to do that as a kid. It's extremely impressive. What was that like playing in a field among men?
It was, to be honest, nothing different. When I did try to play baseball, I was the only girl on the boys' baseball team, and I made the all-star team. And I was just a really big tomboy growing up. I would play with the boys with basketball during recess, and it was just normal to me. So then when I ended up playing the Sony Open, some PGA Tour events, and people made a big deal out of it, I was like, why? Are girls not allowed to play?
Right.
I was just more confused than anything else. And, then people started being like, oh, you can't do that. And that just kind of made me want to do it even more. But I think it was just, I didn't know any better. That was normal for me. I had a lot of guy friends, and who's to tell me I can't play with my friends,
Especially when you're beating a lot of them, right? I mean,
Was that actually your mindset? Like,
Yeah.
comparing Hawaii all-state, all-star, Little League baseball to that?
Yeah. I mean, also, I think what people also don't realize is that growing up in the islands, there's not a whole lot of opportunity. And I pretty much won everything on the island. Like when I was 12, like I said, I won the biggest women's event by like 13 strokes. And from then on, I just was trying to find new opportunities, and that was playing with the men. And, flying to the mainland was expensive. So I just was trying to find more and more opportunities. But yeah, I mean, I just grew up playing with the boys, so I didn't really find that much different.
Cool.
I learned something about my wife. There you go.
Yeah, that's why you're the first couple we've had on here. So this is awesome to see where it's gonna go. What else are we gonna learn? All right. Plus, speaking of being a couple, what's it like being parents?
It's amazing. Like it's hard to describe the actual feeling, but the moment that it does happen, it's such a game changer in your life. Like I don't really remember a lot pre McKenna now. Like it's totally changed my life, your life, both of our lives together.
Yeah, I don't remember not having a kid. Yeah, it's truly amazing. It's really hard, but it's amazing at the same time. It's undescribable.
Yeah, I mean, I can only imagine. Yeah, that's incredible. We're gonna have kids one day. I mean, not together, but like eventually, right?
You guys will make beautiful babies.
Yeah, thank you. They have a very solid beard. I
Yeah,
think.
seriously.
Yeah, there you go.
I need those genes.
No.
Oh, man.
Yeah, we were joking about that when we first were making the podcast, coming up with names, and one of them was like the bearded bros.
Yeah.
Decided to go a different route. That's hilarious. Yeah, no, I absolutely love kids, and I don't have them, but I'm very avid uncle showing up for my family, and those kids are amazing. The reason I love being an uncle too is like, I get them for all the good stuff, and then I get to hand them back when they're being crazy. But kids are the absolute best. Like, are you seeing any signs of sports with her already, or she's probably pretty young, right?
No, she loves golf and basketball already. And it's funny because we didn't expose her too much to basketball, besides watching on the TV. Obviously with golf, I would bring her out all the time to practice, and she would see us play. So she would see that more in person, but she gets so excited about basketball. Like the children's park that we go to is next to a basketball court, and she just watches people play, and she tries to dribble. So yeah, I think she's pretty athletic. She's definitely got my husband's athletic genes more than mine, or I'm hoping so.
Yeah.
Her hand-eye, my athleticism. That's what we're hoping
That's
for.
a great combo right there.
She must love like bring your daughter to work day, Jonnie being with the Warriors and you being a professional golfer, right? That's like best of both worlds.
She's been to one Warrior game. I I don't think should she been to any of your golf events? No.
Yeah, she did.
Oh, from the balcony, right?
No, but when we used to live in San Francisco,
Oh,
and
yeah,
there was a
I
tournament at our
understand.
home course, and Jonnie brought her out for the last hole, and I made the putt, and people started clapping, and so she started clapping, and it was like so awesome. But she loved the basketball game too.
Yeah. A lot of sensory overload.
I know.
There's so much going on for kids.
Did you get her like the headphones?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like the rite of passage. I feel.
It's amazing.
That's awesome. Is she tracking to be pretty tall as well?
Yeah, she's
Oh.
huge.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
She's
That's amazing.
off the charts. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
she's
great.
not yet 2, but she's wearing 4-year-old clothing.
No way.
already.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, excited to see where she takes her sports career. You know.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's great. What was it like at 16 getting your Nike deal?
It was crazy, but also not, because nothing in my life changed. It's not like I had bought a car or we moved houses. My parents drove me to school. I went to the same high school, hung out with the same friends. So nothing in my life changed. My parents put all that money in like a trust for me, and were like, okay, you're not allowed to touch it, which I am really grateful for. So nothing changed.
That's awesome, though. I mean, yeah, I was talking to Will about that earlier. You know, to go from, you know, a sport obviously you're incredibly gifted at, and you obviously work incredibly hard at, and then to be rewarded for it, but to be one of the youngest in the space ever to do that and to do what you're doing, and it's mind-boggling. At 16, I was like trying to figure out how to put my pants on right or something. I don't know what was going on. So it's incredible to hear that and to have you here on the podcast, to meet both of you officially. You know, it's really cool to see that. So I was trying to wrap my mind around what that would be like. So it's cool. It's so cool to hear that you're like, oh, you know, nothing really changed. Kind of kept chugging along, and you know, you're still playing golf to this day. So you're
It's
doing
not
something.
just her saying that either. Like, she's still to this day, like, that's to me what amazes me the most about her. Like, she's so normal, and you wouldn't think that she was exposed to all of this at such a young age, was in the public eye. Like, most people can't handle that and are incredibly affected going forward. But I'm not trying to just I'm not
Like,
trying to
carry on,
brag,
like,
but like it's
Keep talking.
it's true. Like,
I'm
she's
starting to see why this works right here.
she's
Oh, that's cool. Humility is an incredible, you know, thing to have, and especially in a space where so many spaces too, like even in entertainment and everything too. There's a lot of people that take a lot of things for granted and have big egos, and you know, when you meet someone who's got the gift, got the talent, and then also is humble about it too, it's like, I like that person.
I mean, back when I turned pro, when I was a kid, there was no social media, which I think is totally different nowadays too. It was so easy to lead a normal life or be sheltered from it, and I give my parents a lot of credit for that. But it's scary now. You know, I can't imagine if I had went down the same path in 2022, how different that would have been.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, that's like going back to kind of what you're saying about failures too, and getting scared and more things. Like, there's so much more pressure I feel on people and kids these days with social media. And I went from nothing to overnight. I had, you know, hundreds of thousands of followers, and all of a sudden all these comments, good, bad, everything, and you hear everything from good to I want to, you know, a lot of stuff I'm not going to mention, but you have to learn how to process it, and it can be very difficult, especially when you're passionate about something, you know. And it's like, okay, well, I was trying to play guitar and I got ripped apart, you know, and I'm like, I don't really want to play guitar anymore, you know. So playing a sport too, I can only imagine what that would be like. And I don't know, there's not really anyone I could think of that has done what you've done in this time as well, you know. So it's going to be interesting to see if anybody can ever get in that spectrum, you know, and then have the pressure of social media and what that does to them too. I'm kind of curious to see what that would be like.
Yeah, the pressure of social media is intense.
I mean, you see it too at the highest levels. Like, you see all these NBA players who are playing at the highest level and what they have to go through from a social media standpoint. Like, it's crazy. And even with that, like, guys at halftime are on their phones checking and seeing, you know, what's been said about them on Twitter. But I don't know. I could you imagine doing that? Like you miss a putt on, for par on 8, and then you're scrolling through and
Oh my God. I don't even have to scroll through. I can picture all the comments already. And that's like the hard part, right? It's because you don't even know if that's even what's being said. But because it's happened to you so many times in the past where you've seen negative comments, that you're just portraying it in the future. Like, oh, if I do this, oh my God, like so-and-so is going to say this and this. And people might not even think it, but you're just portraying in your own mind.
Yeah. Would you say there's any tools or things you've done to kind of cope with that, or to understand or deal with it, or keep it out of your mind when you're trying to focus on a game?
I love blocking people. I take it one step further. Yeah. I report them for mean comments.
I will never say a bad thing.
For being mean. I'm just like, if you follow me, then I only feel like I follow people that I want to support and be happy for. Like, just don't follow me. Like, you lost your privilege. Block.
We talk about it a lot, though. Like, I just tell her, like, who cares about what people are saying about you? Like, who cares what Jim from Kansas is saying about, your round or what you're wearing? Like, it should only matter what the people that know you, your family, your closest friends, like, that's, to me, and everybody's different, but I've always had the mindset of, like, only care about what the people that know you care about you.
Yeah. I always say, you never hear a truly happy person say something bad about someone else. So then I look to the people who are trying to bring you down or say negative things, or even just stir the pot for whatever reasons. They're trying to bring you down to their level. A lot of people do that. Well, they'll bring you down to their level so that they can feel, instead of working on themselves and healing and doing the work, they'll bring you down just so that they can feel above you. And it's like, it's a simple mentality. I talked about it before about, with Will a lot, the crabs in the bucket, there's a bunch of crabs in a bucket and one's trying to get out. The other one will pull it down, and vice versa. They'll keep doing it and they all stay in the bucket, versus like, well, there's plenty of, we can all get out if we help each other and then go on from there. And there's plenty of avenues for success. There's plenty of avenues to, be happy, to be healthy. And there's no one way to do it also. And we all struggle. We all have things we go through. So I've always looked at it as, essentially every step I take is an opportunity to do good or to help someone, or at least not hurt anyone, and that's the thing too. It's like, it's easy to bring someone down or to be negative or to, get in our own head about stuff, but it takes work, and the better, more fulfilling thing is the happiness. And it's to what you're saying. Like, I completely agree. And it's cool to hear people's mindset in that space too. So I really like that. I respect that.
Yeah. Johnny's got a really good mindset. He calms me down a lot of the time. Yeah, we're very good yin and yang, I feel like, especially with parenting, because I'm very like, oh my God, is she okay? I like Google everything, which is really bad. And then Johnny's like, oh my God, just center yourself, calm down.
I'll be like on the couch watching a game or something, and she'll be like, oh my God, does she have a fever? And I'll just look at her and like not even attempt to check and be like, no, she doesn't. She's like, okay.
That's awesome.
It's good having both sides of that, right?
Yeah.
It's important. How'd you guys first meet?
We met through mutual friends. So Justin Thomas is a really good friend of mine. We both live in Jupiter. And I guess he stayed with Johnny's family during the LA Open, during Greenbrier. So they got to know each other, and we knew each other through mutual Stanford friends as well. Kirk Lacob was in the grade above me at Stanford, and his really close friend is one of my best friends at Stanford. So this world is small and worked out.
That's awesome. How long ago was that?
December of 2018. Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
When you know, you know.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, both of us are very not patient, so things happen quickly.
Yeah.
That's great.
We were engaged after 3 months, got married after 8, and she was pregnant after 11 months. So yeah, we were not patient.
I want to know what happens next. That's awesome. You commented. Oh, so this is kind of funny. When you first came in, you commented on my truck out front.
Yes.
What was the first thought that came to mind when you saw it?
I was very confused. There was like gas tanks.
Yep. Oh, that's funny.
I just was really trying to figure out what it was. I come out with scenarios.
Yeah.
Like, oh, is this guy a scuba diver? Does he take this out? Does his truck become like a duck boat? He just goes out. I can see him like spear fishing. I just create this entire scenario in my brain. Tell me if I'm correct. It becomes a duck boat.
Duck boat. D. The answer is D. All of the above. I can do everything.
When we drove up, though, like the first thing I said was like, "That's definitely Brock's car."
You knew.
Oh, it's so funny. Yeah, I'll walk outside every now and again after we film a podcast or something, and then I'll see a group of guys just standing on gardeners or you know, a neighbor or something like that. They're staring like, of course that's your truck. You know? So it's been a fun project I've been working on for years, and still continuing to do it. But it really was something I wanted to make as an artist, to go anywhere, anytime, escape the madness, the craziness, you know, have my like Zen time basically, but also for writing film, you know, scripts. It really was like, if I escape everything and I just focus, because it's very easy to get distracted, especially in LA, you know, and social media and so much going on all the time with different projects and things going on. So for me, that was like my happy spot and the happy place. But it's so funny because I've like gone like twice, you know? I'm like, I just keep working, you know?
Well, you were working on it for so long, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you have like hot water, tents. I mean, it's like the full.
Yeah. And I think a friend of mine kind of pointed that out to me too. He's like, that is what it is for you. You know, it's like, it's being able to do that is what gives you that, you know, peace of mind or whatever it is. It's like, it's the building it, it's the working, it's the designing it, you know, like how many extra batteries do I need to have? I put the solar on it, you know, oh, I want to make sure I have hot water when I go out. Is there food? Is there water? Like everything. So it's just fun. Like, cause I love just like film, just like a script as well. It's, you know, it's puzzle piecing it all together so that it makes a great story. For me, it's the same thing with the truck, is like, can it do everything? And if anything goes wrong, do I have the tools or the skills to make sure that, like, you know, if I'm 500 miles out and I get a flat tire, do I have a jack? Can I change the tire? You know, like, it's a big truck. Let's see what happens if that goes wrong, you know? So it's just a fun thing for me. And it's, you know, something I like to spend my time on, I guess. Yeah.
The next is finding a way to get your electric car to fit in that. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I'm already scanning trailers, trust me. But I actually just got an electric bike that goes on the back of it. So that's one of those things where when I'm out camping, that top part turns into a tent and it becomes like a little ecosystem there. And I wanted something to kind of get around town, or I guess out in the woods. It's different, not really town. But and that was something that I can charge out there, you know, off the batteries I have, the solar I can use to rip around and go pick up firewood, you know, do whatever. So, yeah, now I just got to go use it, right? Yeah.
I could really picture all of this.
It sounds great. I mean, for me, it sounds great. So, yeah, it's a lot of fun, and I've taken it on some pretty crazy off-roading expeditions so far, and I am mind blown in what that thing can do. Like, climbing rock faces. I've had the tire, you know, 5-6 feet off the ground before from one end, you know, and I'm like, is this thing going to snap in half right now? Or am I going to make this thing? What's happening? And it's a heavy truck too. So that's another reason I have a Prius, you know, is because getting around town is, in that thing, like a death sentence.
Oh.
Not for me, for anyone who gets in my way. And I've been cut off sometimes where to the point where I slammed the brakes so hard that my calf cramped. Because I like inches away from hitting someone because it was like trying to stop and they cut me off, and it just like, I know if I hit somebody, it's bad news for them. You know, it's terrifying to me. So I'm like, she can be parked and we'll take the little zippy Prius around, you know? So it was a good move, especially, you know, gas prices at $1 million a gallon.
I feel safer with it outside, just in case.
That's
it's
another
probably
thing
got
too.
like a turret on the back of it.
Yeah, it pulls out a little laser beam, you know?
We don't talk about the hidden Batman style weapons.
Yeah, right. Well, if you guys ever want one, I'll help you design it. Just let me know.
I mean, we recently just got a new car, and I was very obsessed with trying to find a Raptor. So like I was.
Oh really? Oh yeah.
I was a fan.
Oh, that's awesome.
What'd you end up going with?
We went family car. We got a
Makes sense.
Yeah, we got a big SUV. So
Cool. Yeah. I was like, how are we going to fit 2 dogs, one baby, hopefully more, and this Raptor. I'm like, just gonna put the baby in the truck, like.
Strap her in. She's fine.
Put the TV on.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Those Raptors actually have incredible space in the back seat.
Yeah.
Like,
It actually is really big.
yeah, they're really cool trucks.
Yeah.
You know, when's
Maybe one day.
your birthday?
Soon.
Ah, hey.
I know. I don't know what to get him. We're the worst present
bad.
givers.
Really?
Yeah.
Like,
How does your daughter feel about that?
We're good with her.
You're good with
look
her?
with her.
Each
Actually,
other?
have we even gotten her? We didn't even get her a birthday present.
We didn't get her Christmas.
Christmas.
present.
But she get like, babies get so much.
I
Like
know.
at some point we'll start the gifting.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, because like when would they remember, right?
Right.
It's like at what age, I wonder.
Yeah, she gets something and she's interested in it for a month and a half, 2 months, and then she's on to the next thing. So
That's cool.
Yeah.
Do you guys have anything that's like unique to you think your relationship, or what makes you guys work great, or communication? Is there any like tools kind of?
I mean, I think we're very different, but very much alike at the same time, which really helps. You know, I think we have the same values, we like the same shows and things, but how we kind of approach it are two very different styles, which is great because we just like end up meeting in the middle a lot of time.
yeah, I mean, I think what you said earlier too, kind of like the yin and yang. Like we're just like I'm very comfortable with being by not like in the sense of not being with her, but like I'm very comfortable being by myself. Like I could go live in the middle of nowhere and be fine with it. And you're not that. You're different. You
I like
sort of
these.
like it, but
Sort of like it for like a week, and then
That's I'm yeah. I'm definitely built that same way. Like it's funny because my whole career is based, you know, in Hollywood, and a lot of stuff that me and Will do together. It's best to be here, you know, and especially entertainment business, and having that, like I would love to just get a ranch and live in the middle of nowhere, or you know, go camp for extended periods of time and kind of get out. And it's very much my personality, so I totally get what you're saying about, and it's finding that balance of like, how do I stay in the city so long and then still stay grounded or still be able to like breathe. So it's cool to like hear your guys balance with each other, because it's definitely its own unique, you know, obviously the reason you guys click so quick, you know, and work so well. Yeah.
our parents think we look alike as well,
Oh yeah.
which is weird. I don't see it at all.
Yeah, I'm not really.
Yeah, but both
who
our
said that?
parents.
Wait, somebody said that.
Both our parents.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But we were in the car actually coming here talking about our next vacation and trying to see if we can do like a no phone vacation. That just
wow.
sounds glorious.
Yeah.
It's a good idea.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
just get like locked into and trapped into your phone, so, you know, social media, whatever it is. Like just get away from
How long would you get away for? A week? Is that?
I think a week.
Yeah.
that'd
time.
be good.
Yeah, I think having something where you can check in on our family if there's like any emergency, but I think that would give me the biggest anxiety, like just not being connected to the world and then something like big happening and you not knowing, but just putting it away and then have your activity and just check it once a day just for emergency purposes.
I think that's totally fair to have like an emergency access clause in the deal.
I think so.
Yeah.
Cool. That's a great way to vacation right there. Yeah. I think I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna go do that soon. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Wait, so did you grow up here, like, or
I grew up in California for the most part, and you know, my family lived in Florida for a little bit. I have a younger brother and sister that were born out there, and from the Bay, from Sacramento. And when we came down here, I never lived in the same place for more than a year though. So I would jump school. I switched high schools 9 times. Middle schools was like 6 or something like that. Never really had any consistency with that, so I never got to play sports. You know, a lot of people are like, for me, do you play football? Do you play like, you know, of course, naturally, but I never got to. So I ended up doing what I was truly passionate about. Was like, you know what, I love film. It was one of my favorite escapes as a child, you know, and being able to get really lost in something, I was like, that is incredible to me, and I want to give that back. So that's kind of where that, journey began for me. And then coming out here, and I've been in LA maybe, I don't know, 7 or 8 years now, I'd say. And I love it. There's so many people that come here and they say, there's so many bad people, I didn't like it, or they only last a year or something like that. And I'm like, I've met the best people, Will included, that I've ever met in my entire life in this city. And I feel you really get what you put out. And I think that's the same thing in life, in general. But this city especially, it gets so many people. It's a melting pot. You get so many people from all over the world with so many different professions and different goals and dreams and at different places in their life. And I have been able to connect and meet so many incredible people. And that's, for me, like, I feel like I'm always going to have some kind of home here, regardless if I live here or not. Because I do think, living in the middle of nowhere is like the goal, the dream, I think it'd be amazing. But as far as that goes, yeah, I think this city's been incredible all around. And now we're doing this podcast where we get to meet even more amazing people. And that's like the coolest thing in the world to me, having conversations with power couples, that's the goal. Yeah. Is there anything you guys want to promote or anything you got going on right now? Just being awesome parents and kind of cruising?
Yeah, pretty much. Just chasing a 2-year-old around.
That is more than a full-time job.
Yeah. I decided to add a puppy in the mix.
Oh, yeah?
I've been talking about it for a while and bugging him, and my girls and I went on a girls trip, and there was some alcohol involved, and I put down a deposit for a puppy, and we got her. It's been great, but also I don't know if I recommend getting a very young puppy with a toddler at the same time.
It's like two toddlers, right?
Yeah, it's really funny.
The puppy's worse, though. Like, yeah, because
Yes.
a toddler, obviously they can't take care of themselves, but they can figure out for like a little bit amount of time how to take care of themselves, right? Like McKenna she knows how to turn the TV on. So like if she gets bored, she can just click a couple buttons, where the puppy's just gonna go pee and bark. They can't do anything for themselves.
Yeah, we were. She sleeps in our room, and we woke up in the middle of the night one night. I was like, "We have rats in this house." I hear gnawing on the wall, and we look over, and I don't know how, but she's eating the vertical wall.
What?
Like just scraping her teeth on
the drywall.
Oh my God.
And I thought the same thing too, because I thought it was rats, and it was like, this is gonna suck if we have rats here.
Yeah.
And I mean, look over and there's this little fluffy rat on the floor. Yeah.
That's hilarious. What kind of puppy is it?
Old English sheepdog. So we have an older Old English sheepdog, and it's hard in compare. It's not fair to her because he's like the best dog ever. The easiest, chillest, and she will be that. She's great. But it's just really funny. It's also really funny because the puppy and the baby like the same things. So they are like rivals right now. They like the same toys. They like the same chew toys. At one point, we found McKenna chewing on Daisy's bone.
No.
This happens like once a day. It's
That's
like
really
a
cute.
reoccurring thing. And then the puppy chews on her teething toy. So now that's all Daisy's. And Daisy's obsessed with the trampoline, so is the baby. So they end up fighting on the trampoline together, and it's like, see who can last longer on the trampoline. And usually Daisy wins most of the time.
I feel like that has like TikTok video written all over it,
Yeah.
like
Dude.
puppy and baby on trampoline.
Very, very entertaining household right now.
Yeah, and she has this like little step thing where she's like higher than the dogs, and her favorite thing to do right now is feed them carrots. So it's like our own like petting zoo.
That's awesome.
It's a zoo at our house. It's
As
a
long as you
complete
don't
zoo.
look over and see McKenna on the walls teething on the drywall,
I know.
They learn quick. So
Look, mommy, look what I.
Look what I can do.
just like Daisy.
Yeah. But she's very interested in their dog bowls right now.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for that to happen
Oh, no.
one day.
It's gonna happen.
It's going to happen. She's going to either ask later on to be fed in a dog bowl probably, or
Just drink
Drink.
out of the wall. Yeah.
Oh, it's like
wild.
my buddy does it this way, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it like my buddy.
Yeah, and she's obsessed with them. Like the first thing that she asks for when she wakes up, she's like, Daisy, Gatsby. So she loves them, which is great, and they're great with her too.
It's good family dog.
Yeah,
For sure.
and even the puppy, like as young as she is and as crazy as she is, she never once growls at the baby, or she can do whatever she wants and won't do anything.
Great combo. Yeah, that's cool.
So Johnny, you clearly have, basketball in the family, your father being a NBA legend. And I wanted to ask, how did you first get into the sport, and then how you got into, being an executive and the business side of it?
I mean, I started playing basketball, when I could start walking, like little tykes hoops and all that. I mean, similar to her in the aspect of when you're young, you try everything, figure out what you're good at. And I was pretty good at golf, but was better at basketball. And then I just completely gave everything else up and just focused on basketball. Probably when I was like 10 or 11. Oh, wow. And just when we moved to Memphis, when my dad went to work for the Grizzlies, I started spending a lot of time around him in the off season, like during the draft, free agency, all that, and started to become really interested in what that part of basketball was. And was still playing, and had ambitions to be something more than I ever could be, but I ended up playing in college. And then like it was just a lot of picking my dad's brain, and luckily for me, I had that ability to do that, where I could sit in draft meetings and listen to him talk to other teams about trades and this and that. So for me, like, that was my intro into working in basketball, not playing. That was kind of from like freshman year in high school. I just took a really very hard interest into that.
I mean, that's to be exposed to, the business side of operations at that age. I mean, that's incredible.
Yeah. No, yeah, it was the best learning experience you could ever have. Like, in my mind, I've been, I don't want to say working, because I haven't had like an official capacity, with the team, but I've been learning and working from 14 years old on.
Yeah.
So I've had, and like even before that, like when I didn't really know what working was, right? Like I was 8-9 years old, and my dad's still working for the Lakers, and I'm in their draft room and seeing all that, going to workouts, and like I just had this background of what this could be. And then when I finally figured out, like, okay, this is the beginning of like the next step of your life, like it was an easy transition for me.
Yeah, that's incredible and inspiring. That's, with kind of like me with film, right? Is like, I feel like we were pretty much everyone at the table was kind of lucky to know at an early age what we wanted to do. And like even just quitting all the other sports and focusing on basketball, that's a decision you made that was proactive, that helped you learn the game and like get more focused on it. But yeah, I feel like that's important in life, right? If you can cut out other things and focus your time, attention, and energy on one, you can really learn more and get more focused on it.
For sure. And I mean, I think everybody at that age thinks that, okay, I'm going to make it pro, I'm going to do this, and this. And the reality is there's 400, no, how many? There's 500, and at max, there's 510 players in the NBA, right? Now, just because you don't play in the NBA doesn't mean you can't have a successful playing career. Like, guys can go overseas and do way better than they ever could, like trying to make it in the NBA. But there's also different avenues to being involved in basketball. Coaching, front office, working for an agency, working for the league off. Like there's just so many other things you can do. So for people to just open their minds to other avenues. And I think like you even see it now with guys who play in the NBA, like a majority of those guys, you know, they're making, the top players are making or will end up making $400-500 million in their career, like where you don't have to do anything, but a lot of them are now, you know, going back and working in a front office coaching. Somebody like Juwan Howard, you know, who made a ton of money playing. He goes back and is head coach at Michigan at his alma mater. Like there's so many things you can do besides play. And obviously those guys played and had successful careers, but there's just so much more that sports can give you the opportunity of doing.
I feel like that's inspiring for people to hear also, like, you know, you can get involved in a sport even if you're not playing, right? Like there's so many different, whether it's starting a company around it or like you said, going to an agency. That's cool. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah. Definitely not limiting yourself to. I meet so many people in the entertainment business as well, you know, and there's a lot of similarities with sports as well, I found. And you start off, you know, people who think they want to be an actor and they try it out and then so all of a sudden they realize, oh, dang, either I don't really like this, I don't like being on camera, or I have a knack for directing or writing, or, you know, and we can't have those things. We can't have basketball without the people like you who are doing all these other careers and even the overseas stuff, you know, like there's just this huge ecosystem that, you know, it ties into so many people's passions, you know, and like even what you're saying, you know, you can make $500 million, but you love the game so much, you want to go coach, you want to, you know, and it's so cool seeing that and meeting people like that. Cause I'm a big advocate for doing what you're passionate about, doing what you love, you know, even if it's familiar to you as well, you know, but I don't do things if I'm not passionate about it, because I'd rather wake up and be stoked every day than worry about, you know, did I become a billionaire? Like that's not the fulfilling stuff at the end of the day, you know, at least not for me. It's not. Focusing on the health, the happiness, and am I having a good time in life? You know, tomorrow's not promised for me. Do I wake up happy to work with one of my best friends? You know, we're doing this podcast. Am I happy to create these projects with these incredibly talented people? Like, hell yeah. And that's what I think it's all about. And it sounds like that's exactly what you're doing. And it's the coolest thing to see because, you know, you're part of one of the best teams in the league. You know? It's awesome.
Go Devs.
Yeah.
It's really cool hearing, you know, Jonnie and his family and his friends talk about basketball. I mean, obviously, I've watched occasionally on TV and I still don't know much about basketball, but it's like, they can like throw out random stats on a random player like off the top of their head, and I'm just like, how did you do that? I don't even know my own stats, you know. But what the cool thing about watching Jonnie work and, you know, his friends work and like kind of behind the scenes, that there's so many pieces to the puzzle. And I think the same thing in like film. And, you know, for me, when I just like play golf, I just play golf, right? But behind the scenes, there's like so many pieces to the puzzle. So it's like really cool to see in his job, like how to fit those pieces the best. And there's so much that goes into it. And it's really fascinating to watch.
Yeah, it reminded me of a story when we had Jim Gray on. He was saying about Tiger Woods, you know, and he interviewed him when he was so young. And he was saying how he's like, I wish, you know, back then how old was Tiger when he asked him about being his caddy?
9.
He was like 9 years old. You know, he said he could be my caddy. And he's like, Jim was just going on and on about how I should have done it. I would have made way more money. And I would have done, you know, 15%, whatever it was. Just going on. I was like, that is so funny to hear because he's had such an incredible, legendary career. But yeah, I don't know. It just reminded me of that for some reason. It's such a fun little thing.
Have you dealt with, you know, Tiger comparisons in your life in terms of like, because some of the accomplishments, I mean, you were younger than he was when you did them.
I definitely got that comparison a lot. And, you know, I was so cocky and so arrogant when I was younger. And I was like, yeah, I could beat him. Yeah, that did not happen at all. You know, it was pretty amazing to get that comparison. I was super flattered, but I think people are always just trying to compare, especially when you're doing something so different, because they just want to bring it back to something that they are familiar with. And I guess I was always trying to tell people like, no, I'm different. I have my own story. And, it bugs me when, people try to compare younger golfers to me, because I don't think that's fair to them. Everyone has their own unique story, and you should be one of a kind. You should be, I should have my own story. Someone coming up should have their own story. I mean, Tiger is an amazing story. He's the idol, So I just think, when I hear comparisons, I just feel like everyone should just be their own thing.
Yeah, I love that. One of my favorite quotes is "Bring your own uniqueness into the world," and I always kind of go back to that when I'm thinking about what I want to do and how I want to show up in the world. And sports are obviously very competitive. It's based on competition. I feel a lot of it, and so it's nice to hear. It's awesome to hear from a golfer's perspective also, and it's because it is, technically, it's not a team sport necessarily. So you're sitting here talking about being creative, and that's one of my favorite comparisons as well, because you can still be creative as a competitor, but I've always found, I heard a while back about, competition, you can only be as good or better, a little bit better than, the person you're competing against, but creative, you have a limitless possibilities to be whatever that version is, and so I really like what you said about, people are unique, you have their own stories. We are all different, we all have different stories, and we show up different, we play different, we, work different. And I think that's a really cool perspective to have too, especially with what you do,
Yeah. Thanks also.
Have you always been this wise?
No, I'm still not wise at all. I'm very
There's
immature.
that humility again, dang it. It's awesome.
I was talking to my mom about that the other day, like creativity in different professions.
Yeah.
And it's like, I would think in golf, there's tons of creativity with like, what club are you want to draw it in? You want to, punch it around the tree. Like, it's got to be working with your caddy or something. I mean, would you say there's a lot of creativity in golf?
Oh, that's my favorite part about the game. There's two. One is the creativity, and other is the struggle. I think it's so much fun when you're going out there. It's limitless, even if you have like the most straightforward shot, you're in the middle of the fairway and you have a pin that's in the middle of the green. You could hit that shot 100 different ways, whether it's a low fade, high draw, just a low straight stinger. You have 14 clubs to choose from technically. I mean, obviously you won't use either a putter or a driver from the fairway, but there are just so many opportunities to do so many different things. And I think it's so much fun. And also the struggle part of it, you're never going to play a perfect round, ever. No one is ever going to do that. And the whole beauty of the game is, what are you going to do when you get behind a tree? How are you going to see the shot? Or, up and down, a little flop shot, a little bump and run. So yeah, I think golf is super creative. And that's like the fun part about it. Even when you have a caddy, a lot of times they won't see your vision. But that's the best part about it, because only you can see it, and you're the one that ultimately is going to hit it. So just really playing into the creative side of things.
And then you can express the vision to the caddy, and maybe they can add or subtract something from it and work with them on it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
You're talking about creative in that, and you say you get behind a tree. All I'm thinking is like, let me get the chainsaw off the truck and cut it down.
Which you
That's how I play golf.
Probably have, right?
I got some stuff.
Oh my
a little
God,
bit of everything on there.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Did you guys watch? Speaking of creativity, did you guys watch the Kanye thing on Netflix?
I watched the first like 20 minutes.
I was very impressed.
Oh wow.
Like, for someone to be that creative and to believe it really spoke to me, because how he believed in himself from day one, that's something that I've always struggled with internally. I think I've always struggled with confidence. And just to see someone so brilliant but so confident in himself, it was really inspiring.
That's cool. I definitely have to check that out then, because I'm a big fan of that as well. It's even when you have all odds against you, I always repeat to myself, believe in yourself more than anyone else ever could. And I found that belief also channels more people to believe in you, because you're like, well, you know what, I'm doing it. I'm confident in myself. I'm going to go create and be that version. And all of a sudden, the people that were the naysayers or the haters or, writing those crazy comments on social media, all of a sudden they join your team because they're like, oh, he's doing it or she's doing it. Like, how do I do it? They go from, like, you're never going to get there to, either I know that person, or they start asking you how to do it. And it's so funny to watch that transition for me. But it's also, there are extremely hard times. There's tons of pressure. There's things that are outside of our control that so many people don't see from the outside world. And it's just about bringing it back to that faith in yourself, and I think it really becomes infectious. And Kanye is like next level. He has said some incredible things over the years. And I've also seen, I think we all have in Newsline articles, stuff, him doing crazy stuff, but he's doing it,
But yeah, even some of the crazy things that he's put out there where people look at him and, just roll their eyes like, what is he talking about? And then, a couple of years later, this guy goes from having like a, to where people were saying he was broke and yada yada, to where now he's got a $7 billion brand by himself. Like, I've always been a big fan of his, but just to see like the actual like thinking part of it, the process of how he got from where he was to where he is now, like, and obviously like he's hit roadblocks along the way, which everybody does, but like Michelle was saying, like his ability to believe in himself and know that one day he was going to be what he's saying he was going to be. Like it was crazy. And like what you were saying too, like people in his camp didn't even believe in him. Like people he was one of the best producers in all of hip hop, and his own record label was like not taking him seriously. And he's like playing them in their Office College Dropout, which is like one of the best albums of all time, and people are just sitting there like staring at the sky and not believing this guy. It's like, holy shit, like this guy has this in front of you and you're not even paying attention. It was really crazy. And the other crazy part of it too is the guy that shot all the footage just one day was like, I think this guy's going to be something special. Like, I'm going to quit my job and just start filming this guy like 24/7. And like, how did he see that? And like, it's just,
that paid off.
Yeah.
Seriously.
There's been a lot of articles and news stories that come out on him, and I see them and I'm like, so many people are so quick to judge and say, oh, Kanye's crazy, or he's got, but if he does, deal with mental health stuff as well, I'm a big fan of seeing people in that space and what they do and how they cope with it. Somebody who suffers, from depression myself, I love finding those tools and those gifts that they leave behind. But it's fascinating, like to see, back to my point of the articles and stuff. I'm like, this guy is so smart. Like, I think you get to a point where like, was that methodical or was that just a moment, and it's hard to decipher the difference. And it's kind of like the Oscars thing with Will Smith, he's goes up and does this thing and we're like, is that script? Was that part of the show? Was it scripted? Until you realize, oh, it wasn't, and those moments. But look what it did. Like, I haven't seen anything on my social media accounts besides that, and it broke the internet essentially. But for Kanye, there's so many points where it's like, he gets the game. He knows what he's doing. He's got belief that it's out of this world. I have not seen many people like that in my entire life. And he's doing it, he's doing everything that he's saying he was going to do and then some. And you don't even know what the next move is. It's amazing. Like, where is he going to go next?
Yeah. I mean, to stay relevant and like stay on top of the world like that for that long. I mean, it's kind of like the all press is good press with him, right? Because it's like, no matter what, he's in the news. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, but he's always in the news. Got to give it to the guy. I got to watch that for sure.
We're going to try to get some views, so if you want to slap me, let's go.
No, thank you.
Okay.
I saw the truck up.
See, that's why we have it there. That's why.
Yeah, everyone on the block, it's like, there goes the neighborhood. We got the truck, Beverly Hillbillies.
Basically, yeah, right. I know, right? No, basically every house from that point on is completely safe, so it's great. Is there anything coming up for you guys, or?
No, what's coming up? I thought it was February yesterday.
Yeah.
I don't know. You should be asking me about future plans.
Yeah, no, I have long forgotten what day of the week it is. Like it's for the past couple years. I have no idea anymore
Yeah.
until I get a notification like, oh, you got to get on a flight in 4 hours, like, or what's going on tomorrow. It's wild. It's
Yeah,
easy to-
somebody we were somewhere the other day and somebody was like, "Oh, there's a couples Valentine's Day tournament." Or no, you were reading it off the page, and I was like,
Yeah, we
Does
just
she
joined this new
realize-
club, and there was like a schedule events, and I got really excited. I was like, oh my god, because I just saw February
February,
14th,
yeah.
and what is it even March, April?
"It's
April 1st.
April Fools."
Oh yeah, so I was like, oh my god, we could make the Valentine's Day couples tournament. That'd be so much fun. And like the GM is there, like literally everyone's looking at me like I'm the dumbest person. And Johnny's like, what?
I'm like, we've got plenty of time before that happens. Like that's 2023.
Make the
We
next
got
one.
10 months.
I
Yeah.
was like, oh no.
So how old is McKenna?
She is turning 2 in June.
Okay, so that's
Yeah.
like still super young.
Yeah.
I feel like I'd be like not sleeping, totally out of it.
No,
I don't know.
She's been a great sleeper from
Yeah.
the get-go, and
Oh,
we've
that's
had
great.
a good. Well, at the beginning, like when you actually have to wake them up, like we had a good routine, but now she
Yeah.
she
Door
sleeps.
locks
Yeah,
are great.
yeah,
Door-
that helps too.
I got a question for both of you.
Yeah.
What are your craziest golf and NBA stories that you guys have had, if you want to share?
Ooh, crazy
Not- and that's not a-
story.
Extra
It's
credit.
not a if. That's a you have to share.
Do I have a crazy golf story?
I
I
mean,
feel like I do.
look at your entire life; it's
Yeah.
all
It's
crazy.
true.
I would
Wow.
say
Biopic,
So
that's
I've
it.
seen something that has happened on a golf course that recorded has only ever happened 5 times in the history of golf.
Wow.
My brother, who's a really good golfer, lives in Colorado. We were playing at Colorado Golf Club, and he made 2 double eagles in the same round.
Wow.
Yeah, it was
Wow.
What?
yeah.
I've
you
never had a
kidding?
double eagle in my entire life.
It's happened 5 times in the history of golf,
Wow.
from what I know of.
So, so he did like hold out,
Hold out
with the
twice
wood.
on a
Part.
one was with a 3 wood. It was a terrible shot actually. Like it was he pretty much topped it, but it was like it wasn't a top to where it rolls out like 80 yards. Like he kind of hit it solid, so it like rolls out, goes down in like a ditch waste area, pops out, rolls all the way back of the green, like ball disappears. He couldn't see where what happened where he was, but I was like up a little bit, so I'm like thinking like there's no way that went in, and walk up. I get to the green first, I look in the hole, it's in the hole, and like I don't have any reaction because I want to see like what his react. So
I would have freaked out.
I kind of screwed with him. Like I went to the hole, looked, saw it was in there. I went to the back of the green, like looked at the back of the green, and he comes up and he's like, "Oh my god, double eagle, yeah, yeah." And then this was like the 6th or 7th hole, and then the 16th hole is a shorter par 5, and like Colorado, you're at elevation, and
it can travel.
yeah, he had an 8 iron in. And this one was like actually a good golf shot. Like one hop in the hole makes it. Yeah. And
I
then
mean,
like
Jeez.
just to give him a hard time, the best part of the story was I beat him that day.
No way. Oh my
That's
god.
amazing.
Drop that at the
Yeah.
end.
Yeah. I always, because he likes to leave that part out, right? Like
Oh, I mean, I would.
you just
If
went,
it was my
you
brother.
just went 6 under on 2 holes and you lose. Like, come on, man.
That's it. Like,
And you have to
wow.
like, I have to humble him a little bit too, because
Well,
you lost to your younger brother that day.
yeah, you can't leave out the facts. You know?
right.
That's awesome.
That's really cool.
Have you seen anything close to that?
I've seen, like people hole in for a double eagle, but not 2 of them. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
insane.
that's unheard of.
Yeah.
Is that an albatross?
2
Albatross. Yeah.
2 albatrosses.
Wow. Yeah. I've done a little bit of golfing.
Have you ever seen a photo of an albatross?
Oh yeah, huge.
No.
Oh, is that a?
No, it's the bird. Like
No,
giant-
yeah.
I like
yeah,
the actual.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's hilarious.
Brock had a good hole in Cabo. First time playing Eldo
First time playing ever.
ever. Eldo ever. But like, what is he, birdie the par 5?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh wow.
Pretty
Birdie or
good.
eagle.
Yeah,
That's
it's,
really good.
First time playing golf, you made a birdie.
Yeah.
Wow.
Pretty impressive.
maybe like
clubs that were
second or
very
third
small.
hole. But
Wow.
like, yeah.
Still, like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
On a par 5 too.
that's legit.
That's really good.
Yeah. It was with clubs that are way too small too.
Yeah, that was the thing.
Way too small. I was like trying to like
We'll
figure
get
it
you.
out.
We'll get you LA golf.
Oh, that'd be great. Did you
There
guys
you
putt a
go.
little bit out there in the backyard?
No, we
No.
gotta do that.
Maybe we'll do a little send off with that. And
Yeah.
then
That'd be cool. You guys
Yeah,
want to
yeah.
roll some
Yeah.
putts?
yeah,
Let's
yeah.
do it.
All right, cool.
Yeah, let's do that. Do you have any place you want to send people to, follow you guys? Or I know you love social media a lot, I can tell.
No. Follow her.
Okay.
I guess my Instagram.
Yeah.
Michelle Wee West.
Awesome. All right, should we
On the plane, on that note.
yeah, you want to get out there? I want to